Well, I'm basically challenging this idea, this notion that people have that acting in life, in being social, and in wearing that mask is a bad thing, as if we need to be more authentic and be just who we are. And I think that's completely bogus. I think humans are actors. From the age of 2 years old, 3 years old, we learned how to manipulate our parents by crying when we needed to cry, being charming, saying certain things. We learn how to act. And when we grow up, earlier in that chapter, I make the point if you met a person that said exactly what he felt every time, you would hate that person. He would never have any friends. So let's be honest about this. We're all acting. You need to be honest about who you are. You need to be honest that you have a dark side, that you have aggressive impulses, that you can feel envious. So you need to be truthful about yourself. But being a social animal, which is what we are, means that you have to mold what you say and how you act to the situation that you're in. You can't just simply blurt out what you feel. That's being an animal. That's not being a human being. A human being controls his emotions, has the ability to control what he or she says. I see 1,000 times in business situations, the number one sin that people make mistakes in negotiations or in meeting is they talk too much. They say things that they shouldn't have said. They reveal things about themselves that they shouldn't. You need to have more self-control. You need to be better at wearing that mask. And you need to enjoy the sense of being a good actor and playing a role. Some of the best people who are the most successful are really good at playing a role, are really good at this sort of acting aspect. A radical realist has an ability to look deep inside and become more aware of who one is. Of course, you can never really know. Maybe we can only know 10% of who we are, but that 10% is greater than most people have, and it's powerful. The other side is understanding people, which is extremely important because we're such a deep social animal. And once again, we're operating in these deep, deep fogs. We're constantly listening to this kind of tape rolling around in our heads. We're not really getting inside people. We don't really know what motivates them, what their world is, what their experience is. We project onto them our own emotions, our own fantasies, etc. So we don't really have a clue as to, this extremely critical part of our lives. Even our intimate partners, we don't truly understand. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, I think, as studies have shown that we're all becoming more narcissistic, more self-absorbed. I read novels from like the 19th century, like Jane Austen, or I'm reading a lot now by Virginia Woolf, and I'm shocked at the level of understanding of people and people's psychology. Like they're constantly having parties, interactions. Their life was so much more social than ours was, right? Because they had no other form of entertainment. They had no internet, no television, radio may have just been beginning. Their only form of entertainment was interacting with people. So they had a much deeper grasp and connection to the people around them. People pretend to be something that they're not, right? They pretend that they're not aggressive, that they're so virtuous, so pious. And look at all what we're going through now with all the virtue signaling and the social justice warriors. We all have to pretend to be so pious, etc. And it's just bullshit. It's not who we are. Everybody is flawed. We all have feelings of envy. You use absence to create honor and respect. And it's basically how you need to occasionally absent yourself from other people to get them to fantasize and think about you, and that your absence can often be more powerful than your presence. You can be too much in people's face, and they start to see you too familiar and they disrespect you. Whereas if you step away and they don't see you for a few days, they start wondering about you, and it seems very powerful. Well, I say in the modern world that you can't be too forceful and direct, too brutish, or people are going to turn against you. It looks ugly. So the game of power is to always appear to be a paragon of virtue, as they do in Hollywood, but to actually be aware of the hardcore games going on and to occasionally play them yourself. We're all flawed, we all evolved from the same roots, and we can't control who we are to a large extent. So some of the things that are most obvious and egregious about that, like the fact that we feel very powerful emotions, they overwhelm us, and we act stupid when we're overwhelmed by powerful emotions often. It is very human, and some people like to exempt themselves. They go, oh, I'm not narcissistic, that's the other person. I'm never aggressive, I'm just so sweet, it's other people who are aggressive. I never feel envy, that's other people, on and on and on. And I just wanted to attack that, because this is who we are. It's not to be depressing. It's actually If you don't realize, if you don't have self-awareness, you can't possibly change yourself. I believe we humans naturally feel envy. Everybody feels envy. We don't like to admit it. I'm envious that Ryan sold more, is listed higher on the business bestseller list on Amazon than I am.
Ryan Holiday, who was just here.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentored him early on. He fixed your Wikipedia page. He was a kid.
Yeah.
He still is, actually.
And now he's outshone me. Anyway, I can admit that I feel envy. And so I want you to get to that same place. And where it comes from it's the chimpanzee in us. It's been shown that primates are very attuned to other animals in their clan, and they're constantly comparing themselves. Who's the alpha chimp? Who has more than I have? We are, by our nature, the way our minds work, continually comparing ourselves to other people who, they have a better job, they're making more money, their book is selling more, etc. And that's the source of envy. Well, people who are envious, I trace it to childhood. There's a great writer, Melanie Klein, a psychoanalyst, who said that there are children who are envious children. They're greedy, envious children. They envy the attention that other siblings are getting, right? And they go through life becoming enviers. But people like that have learned over the years to disguise their envy. They have to disguise it in some way, because if they show it, it'll turn people off, and they'll be very limited in what they can get in life. So these are masters at disguising the signs of their envy.